What's up guys, my name is Liam and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Pwnage Stormbreaker Max carbon fiber. I was really excited to get my hands on this since I am a big fan of the original magnesium version, and I had some questions. How is the carbon fiber implementation going to be? I'm going to try and break that down for you today in this video, compare it to the competition, and hopefully I'll be able to help you decide whether or not this could be the perfect gaming mouse for you. So let's check it out. Before we get started today, I did want to let you know this was sent out to me. However, everything you're going to be hearing in this video is going to be my own words and my own opinions. Included inside the box, it does come with a USB-A to USB Type-C cable, 2 sets of skates. It already comes with a pair of these corner skates on it, but it does give you an extra pair, then these dot skates. Here's a tool to adjust the positioning of the sensor, since this does allow you to do it just like the previous version. User manual, sticker. Here is the dongle, which now goes up to an 8K polling rate. And it does come with these 2 sets of grips, the full style grips, and then these little smaller grips here. These do actually feel really great and premium. Just so you know, there is a plastic filament on them. When I was first testing them out, I'm like, man, these are kind of slippery, but you do have to remove the protective cover off them. Here's a close-up look of the 8K receiver that does come included. Nothing that's too different from the previous one. If you had any experience with that, it's just this pyramid look, and then it does have rubberized feet at the bottom. Here's the USB-C connectivity, and then it does have a little LED up here in the front. So when it comes to the bottom layout of the mouse, not a whole lot has changed here. You do have your power button down here in the middle. As you can see, that's what the tool is for. You can unscrew these screws to adjust the sensor positioning to your liking. I do kind of just prefer it in the middle myself. And then it does still have these 4 corner skate design here. So as I mentioned in the intro, one of the biggest questions I had is, there's been these carbon shells coming out like the Final Mouse mice, for example. And I was just really curious to see the build on this. And I am very happy to say the build's solid. I've been going around pushing really hard on the front. I'm not getting any real flex there. I've been coming down along all the edges in the corners, even coming back here in the rear, and I don't notice any real major noticeable flex there. And just the overall feeling of this in general, it feels pretty solid. Even coming up here in the edges on the top shell, pressing in the corner, not sure if that's coming through on the camera, but I'm not getting any like real noticeable flex. Even over here on the side, you might just get a very minimal amount, but just the overall general feeling of this in the hands, I truly haven't noticed any issues with any part of this mouse. So it has been feeling really solid for me and very impressive. As far as the coating goes, I'm not sure if there is a type of additional coating on here or if it's just the matte finish of the carbon itself. When I first got this in my hands, I generally have drier style hands, and it did feel a little bit slippery for me at first, but as I started using this and my hands started heating up, I do feel like the coating on this, it does actually feel pretty grippy. It's kind of interesting because I feel like if you get a little bit more of clammier hands, it does feel more grippy, but if you start getting like really sweaty hands or something like that, it can become pretty slippery. So the changes with the solid sides on here, actually a huge fan. That was actually one of my biggest pet peeves about this mouse. Not that they were terrible or anything like that with the original magnesium version. I just always found myself preferring to use grips on this because of the holes on the sides. And so far with the feeling of this mouse in my hands, I haven't had any feeling of desire to have to throw the grips on this. For mouse 1 and 2, this is using the Omron opticals. When I did review this version of the Stormbreaker, I did mention how great and lightweight the implementation on it felt. And it's honestly just kind of the same thing on this one. I'm not sure. I would say they're about the same. These might feel just a little bit lighter than the magnesium version. Yeah, I'd say probably just a little bit lighter, but all around they feel really solid. When you click here in the middle, you get very minimal play and a little bit of post travel there. You can kind of push it down into the base there, but I'm not noticing any major issues. There is a texture right here on the buttons, and when I go left and right like that, that texture makes it really grippy. But no major issues with going back and forth when they play or anything like that. So the implementation from front to back does get a little heavier, like right up here, but I'd say from here down, it feels pretty consistent and really lightweight. So no matter where you click it, the clicks on this mouse have been feeling really great. I do believe this is using the exact same style of scroll as before. I do believe this is made out of a plastic. This design here on the top though, it does feel pretty grippy for the most part. And scroll feels similar to the previous version. It is tensioned pretty nicely. You do feel steps in there, they're defined. And then the center scroll click here a little bit on the lighter end, and easy to spam. And also the side buttons on this unit. If you do click here from the very back, you get a little bit of play, but I never used the mouse like that with my grip style. Coming here in the center, as you can see, very minimal to almost no pre-travel. A little bit of post-travel there. You can push it in a little bit, but it doesn't really go into shell or anything like that. A little bit of wobbling, rocking back and forth there, as you can see. But even up here in the front, you get like very, very minimal pre-travel and a little bit of post-travel. So these are feeling pretty solid. I do feel like the front side button does feel just a little bit more tight with less pre and post travel, but all around the feeling of these side buttons, especially as I've been using them in game, they felt really good for me. So definitely this has turned out so far to be the most promising carbon shell mouse that I have used, with no major outliers that I've noticed yet. So let's go ahead and drop the click quality sound check. When it comes to the weight and balance, probably my favorite thing about this mouse, or definitely one of my favorite things, the fact that this is a larger style of a mouse and the balancing on it is so great, it does make it feel lighter. And coming in on my scale, I got it coming in at about 48.1 grams. I did want to let you guys know that Pwnage actually did reach out to me. I do believe this is some sort of an early production or pre-production sample. They did mention to me they're making some minor adjustments that are going to drop the weight down even more, I believe around a gram or so additional. So even with that being said, at the weight that it's at right now, like I said, for the size of this mouse, it really does feel great. They're now using this web-based driver to make adjustments to the mouse itself. Very simple and straightforward to use. Once you connect into it, you can come in here and do things like adjust the DPI, change your pulling rate, and sleep settings. And when it comes to performance, for the 8K, 4K, and 2K pulling rates, I did find the click latency to be really close, but overall, the general performance of this mouse looks great and it felt great across all pulling rates. So when it comes to the shape of this, not a whole lot to say that has changed compared to the original Pwnage Stormbreaker. This is the exact same thing, but just a larger size. I still am really enjoying it. So let's just go ahead and we'll run a shape comparison between both these, and then we'll jump into the competition. The feeling of the Xlite size 3, it does feel just a little bit bigger. The difference in the front, as you can see on the Pwnage mouse there, it does slope down more aggressively to the front. It sits lower up there in the front, where this one, it definitely feels a bit higher up there. And I also kind of just feel like all around that the size 3 over here feels just a little bit bigger than the Stormbreaker Max. All right, and lastly, I'll throw it up against the Razer Deathadder V3 Pro. All right, guys, so that about wraps things up on the Pwnage Stormbreaker Max carbon fiber. Everything about this mouse so far has been feeling really great to me with the very low weight for the size of the mouse. The shape of this is great. I really like a lot how they did make the more solid sides on here. So I really have been enjoying this mouse so much that I really do hope that they come out with the exact same thing for the original Stormbreaker, because I'm a big fan of this. And even though this is a bit of a larger style, again, just with the shape and how it curves down in the back here, even though I do normally prefer smaller mice, I've been able to use this mouse really easily, and just the overall general build and performance of this is absolutely going to put this as a very likely contender for Ergo Mouse of the Year. All right, guys, so if you have any questions or feel like I left anything out, please let me know down in the comments below. If you've enjoyed watching this video and are interested in seeing more videos like this in the future, please drop this video a like and subscribe to my channel. And thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.